parents supported the Y when they were living. And so we've supported the Y as well. And it's all been good. Jim was 17 months old. I saw an article in the paper that Jim Kirkpatrick was at the Y that summer, and they were doing a parent swim class for 2-year-olds and up. And I had just seen, I think that same weekend, I had seen in the parade, I guess it was, that in Boston they were teaching or helping 3-month-old children with child and parent swimming things. And I thought, oh my goodness, we're neglecting this child. So the next morning I called and talked to Jim, and he said, well, I said, you said 2 years old enough, and he's only 17 months. And he said, well, bring him. If he likes it, all right. If he doesn't like it, that's all right too.
So when we came here, we needed something to get the kid, something good to get the children involved with. And that was a blessing to have that new Y there for their good, wholesome Christian activities. And it worked out. It was very important. The thing that they liked the most over there was the swimming program. And they all became good swimmers and divers. And the instructional program for swimming there was excellent. And as it turned out, as they grew up, that became a favorite sport for all of them, except the youngest one, Dave. He went into golf, but the others became lifeguards at the local pools and gave swimming lessons, even into college. Janie went to Grove City College and was part of the aquatics team up there. Nancy taught swimming at the University of Tennessee. Bob became a Middle Atlantic champion as a diver. And so that all of that started right through the Y. The swim meets were great. The parents were the timers, and at home this is, and the judges for the diving and that kind of business. And then the mothers would prepare a light meal for the visiting team to have before they returned back to their school. It really was a great program, and the kids got better and better and better.
I've been very privileged to have been associated with the Y, and I thank you folks for letting me be there. My children grew up swimming at the Y, and I didn't have that opportunity, nor did I have the opportunity to be a Y member when I was a child growing up. And so they going to the Y, naturally we started going to the Y and getting closer there. And then a circle of friends such as Paul Kunkel, Paul Baker, Dave Cleaver, George Eppinger, Chauncey Depew, all past presidents. When you circulate with those people, they kind of put the beat on you a little bit and say, well, maybe you ought to become a little bit more involved here. And sometimes you do that.
I guess it was about 1952, and asked me to be campaign chairman for the YMCA to get the money together. And when they asked me that, they came into the showroom. We were in the automobile business at that time. And I remember like it was yesterday, when they asked me that question, I thought, gee, we never had a YMCA in Chambersburg.
Been to Chambersburg all my life, and as a matter of fact, when I was born and growing up in Chambersburg, there was no such thing as a YMCA. And I had no idea what a YMCA involved, not having been near a city where they had them. But my husband came from Philadelphia, so he knew all about the YMCAs, and he was very excited about the fact that they were going to have one here. And needless to say, when it happened, why, he and my children all became members. And I know Jack did, because he was interested in the squash and all the competitive games they played. And I'm always fascinated with what's going on at the Y. And I've just been watching with great glee with building, using the school system, the school, young school. And what you've all done with that is just wonderful.
My first experience with the Y was in my hometown of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, when I was in high school, and we had a very active swimming team at that time. Since then, through medical school and following a 30-year career in the Army as an Army orthopedic surgeon, I was fortunate enough to join Dr. Richard Sr.'s practice here in the summer of 1968. I still swim 3 times a week, and I'm very fortunate to be able to do so. When Dave Matthews came, it was a different ball game, and I had been welcomed there and swum there religiously ever since. I'm very fortunate that I found Chambersburg as my new hometown, especially with the Richards Orthopedic Group.
I went through 2 expansions of the Y, so I've been involved in the fundraising of the Y, and well, maybe 3 times, with the last one here with the Nitterhouse, William Nitterhouse family.
From Frank Burns, who was a member of the Y, he and his family, that his brother had called from Harrisburg and would Frank like to bring some friends and come up and watch him play squash. I had never heard of squash. I got together George Eppinger again, and Jack Good, Jim Hennessy, Tom Hummelstein, and we all got in a car and went up to the Harrisburg Y. So we went back again and played, and thought, we ought to have this at home. We ought to get some. This is a great game, and it'll be another activity that we don't have. So we, George, I'm sure, was the driving force behind it. I raised money, I don't know how, now I forget, but it didn't take long, and sure enough, we were able to build the squash courts, which are still there, and boy, that brought in members.
I thought so much of him. It didn't matter how bad the weather was. I saw him go out when the rain was pouring and when the snow was flying. He'd take his car. We didn't have a bus then. And carload by carload. He'd bring a carload in, go back and get another carload and bring them in. He certainly got the Y started off on the right foot when it came to getting the kids off the street. You know, his wife, Evelyn, was in my homeroom in high school for 4 years. It was Evelyn Rice. She was a really nice girl. They were a real nice couple. And between the two of them, they really intended to get that YMCA off on the right foot.
While I know that many of the older people do participate in the programs of the Y, but it's been more beneficial for the youth of our community. And having lived close to the Y here for about 53 years now, I can see the activity that has been going on down there because I only live 2 blocks from you. And it just seems like there's a lot going on all the time.
Well, it was just about the time school was getting out, and all these kids were coming and so forth. It's just like we used to say, the Y is the busiest place in town.
George Eppinger was the bus driver. And I remember one trip we took to Cumberland, Maryland for a swim meet over there. So loaded them up, started up Route 40 before there was Route 70 going west, and got almost to the top of this one high hill. That's hilly country, as you know. That bus wasn't going to get to the top, so George put on the brakes, everybody out, and we all got out and pushed the bus to the top of the hill. And even some people, the slowness of the bus had attracted some backup traffic behind us. So those people came out and helped push the bus to the top of the hill. Then we got back. We got over to the meet, came back, and I had to push it part way up that same hill coming back.
I like to think about, during my many years that I have been associated with the Y, it has been most gratifying to have served with a very talented and dedicated staff. And that they have carried on the programs at the Y. And without the staff and the executive director, the Y program just wouldn't be what it is. And of course then, one of the highlights for me of the YMCA to have been associated with it and to see the young people grow. And after all, we want our young people to do well because they are going to be our leaders of tomorrow.
Well, the Y is a community-centered group who does immeasurable amount of things for young people in direction and activities that they enjoy, most of which can be done throughout their lives.
I feel like the YMCA has been a very important part of my life, and as I look back over my life, I feel like the YMCA and my church are the two most important things that has happened to me during my life. I feel more proud of what I did with both of those organizations. When you look at the results of the YMCA today, they're doing a great job with everybody.
So all in all, I couldn't have chosen a nicer social organization. I call it a social Christian organization. I would put the Christian organization to have been associated with.